The floor is open for discussion, and I'm afraid we have very little time left because there's a play that's going to start at 7 and we need like half an hour to get there. I have already, thanks to the ushers and our assistants here, I've already received 4 questions, okay, from the floor, and I will go through them quickly. Each of these questions is addressed to a different speaker. The first question is addressed to Sahar Elmougy, and it says, you said that the chapters of the revolution did not end. When do you think they will? Why did the Phoenix allow creativity and allow creating a new patriarch?
Well, the first question I can't answer, of course, since I have a political scientist to my left. So, and I don't think you have an answer. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody would know. All we know at the moment is that there's a struggle going on. The revolution is still on. It's metamorphosing and changing shape all the time. But as for the timing, I cannot tell. But on a personal note, I would say that unlike the 30 years of Mubarak, now I have something to fight for. So I'm not really very greedy for a fast success, and there's no fast success with revolutions. I'm just happy that I have something to busy my hands with for the next chunk of my life. As for the second, well, the question about why the Phoenix allowed a new patriarch, I said that the patriarch was never really gone. He just changes uniform and shape, but the language is the same, the mindset is the same, everything is the same, so he was not gone. He just, he's taken shelter for a few days to think what he should do, and then he popped up again and he never really stopped working. So, but on a concluding note, who do you think is more powerful? The patriarch, the people with the power, this mindset, or a mythical being that has proven its presence?
Thank you very much. And the following question is addressed to Mr. Mohamed Ali Khair. كيف نشجع الإبداع في مصر وهل يظهر الإبداع مع الثورات فقط? How can we encourage creativity in Egypt, and does it only appear or take place with revolutions?
أعتقد السؤال اللي بيتعلق إزاي نشجع الإبداع على أساس ثورة يناير كانت فعل إبداعي. فإذا كنا عايزين ننتظر ثورة تانية فأنا شايف في أفعال حالية بتحصل هتشجع الإبداع. الإبداع الثوري للشعب المصري، يعني الدعوة لهدم الهرم ده أكيد هيزود الإبداع في مصر. المسودة الجديدة للدستور وإلغاء مادة المرأة اللي هي كانت تتساوى مع الرجل، ده هيزود الإبداع عند النساء وهيشاركوا أكتر في الثورة الجاية. مطالبة رئيس الجمهورية بعدم المشاركة في حفل تنصيب البابا تودروس الأحد القادم على أساس إن ده يجافي تعاليم الدين الإسلامي، وهذا طبعا كذب. ده هيشجع الإبداع عند الشعب المصري. فأنا شايف إن مبارك احتاج 30 سنة علشان يحفز المصريين ويخليهم أكثر إبداعا في ثورتهم، لكن اللي بيحصل في الأسابيع القليلة الماضية أعتقد إن هو بيزيد من العمل الإبداعي عند المصريين.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Mohamed Khair thinks that creativity is just there at the door because of the too much oppression that's taking place, because of the okay, because of all the decisions that are being taken and propagated for and partly implemented, whether in the writing of the constitution or ideas like pulling down the pyramids or the status of women. All this is going to tend towards provoking people more towards being more and more creative. Now, the following question is addressed to Dr. Ezzedine Shoukri, and it runs: how did you manage to stop your silence, and why did it take you that long?
Don't worry. Well, I think the main reason for the silence is both hope and despair. And hope for reform from within, and a possibility of reform from within, and despair on the possibility of revolution. I think it's clear in my first novel, 95, The Killing of Fakhruddin, where Fakhruddin, who's a kind of a folk hero, is betrayed by everyone, including by those for whom he stands, including by the public, the people who live in his neighborhood, who let him be assassinated and abandon him at the right time. Anyway, so despair on this and hope for reform from within. What took so long is probably I'm not very smart. So I need time to understand things. But also, if you've watched Godfather, the third episode, there's a part where Al Pacino talks about his own journey, and he said something like, every time he's at a level, he thinks that the higher level has something more honorable, and then the more he goes up, the more corruption he finds, and the more despair, until he reached the top. And I think some process like this happened in my case, where and happens in the life of all bureaucrats, where you always think, state civil servants, that maybe if you go up, there's something that must be going on. Something must be right somewhere else, otherwise the whole thing would have collapsed. And then the whole thing collapsed.
Nothing is right. Okay, our last question is to Mr. Yehia Mokhtar. هل تعتقد أن أهل النوبة مهمشين حتى بعد الثورة؟ وكيف يمكن إعطائهم حقوقهم؟ Do you think that the Nubian people are still marginalized even after the revolution, and how can we give them their rights? I would also like to refer to a couple of questions that I have also received, but I don't think we'll have time to discuss them. This one to Sahar Elmougy needs a very long discussion. You can talk to her after that. And this one to Mr. Khair is really totally ununderstandable to me. I can't understand the question. So maybe you can talk to him after that. And
أعتقد طبعا إن النوبيين ما زالوا مهمشين بالضبط زي ما العمال والفلاحين اللي نصب عليهم عبد الناصر ووداهم الأرض في الإقطاع، وزع عليهم الأراضي وعلمهم بتاع، برضه مهمشين. يعني الشعب كله مهمش والنوبيين من ضمنهم مهمشين، وسوف يظلوا مهمشين لغاية ما يعودوا لأراضيهم وحوالين البحيرة، ولغاية ما يذكر شأن الفلاحين والعمال في الدستور الجديد وياخدوا حقوقهم برضه أيضا. لو ما يتمش دوت هيظلوا مهمشين زي بقية الشعب المصري ما كله ما مهمش. هو البركة في السلفيين وربنا يهديهم.
His answer is that the Nubians are, of course, marginalized, very much like all other factions of the Egyptian people, and when everybody takes their rights, the Nubians too will take their rights. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and I would like to thank the panelists.